What we generally do is we do send a blood test to test the antibody response, and almost all the children will have positive antibody to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, indicating that they did have past infections.
What's the possibility that this, if the virus does continue to mutate, which viruses do, that we might see this syndrome showing up in, you say already young adults? What if it started showing up in older people as well?
Yeah, it could, and the issue is it's really related to the number of infections that occur. So what we've seen after each of the surges, after each of the waves, it's predictable that 3 to 4 weeks later we start seeing these kids come in with MIS-C. So if there's more variants and a higher rate of infection, we'll start seeing more of this.
Now, none of the available vaccines as yet are available for children under, I think it's 16, right? Is there an anticipation that once vaccines are hopefully available, perhaps by the fall, that this syndrome will, if not disappear, become sort of a relic of the past?
Well, that's what we're hoping. We had some promising results from last week from the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine that showed with over 2,000 study participants that were 12 to 15 years of age that there were no cases in the vaccine group and 18 cases in the placebo group. So we're hoping that this is submitted soon to the FDA for emergency use authorization. We can decrease the age of vaccine administration, and then studies are ongoing in even younger children.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Dean Blumberg, pediatrician and infectious disease specialist at UC Davis Health.
So, coming up, kind of a puzzling story, really. There was a prediction, you may remember this, Rob, when COVID first started, and because so many people were kept at home, that the suicide rates would really just go through the roof. Well, it didn't quite turn out that way, and when we come back, we're going to try to tell you why.
How would you like $1,300 off LASIK? This is only for KNX listeners from Dr. Charles Manger at Saddleback Eye Center. I will give you a certificate, $1,300 off LASIK. I can only give away 10 of these certificates to 10 KNX listeners who schedule a free LASIK exam. You must call now, get ready for the number, it's seconds away. If you're sick of hearing your eye doctor, or maybe several eye doctors tell you that LASIK won't work for you, you go see Dr. Manger. Whether you're farsighted, nearsighted, you have astigmatism, or you just wear reading glasses, Dr. Manger can help you. And I will give you a certificate, $1,300 off LASIK. I can only give out 10 certificates to the first 10 KNX listeners who call now. You ready? Call 866-755-4444. 866-755-4444. 866-755-4444.
Are you worried about refinancing your mortgage only to find a better rate later? Introducing the No Regret Refinance from Network Capital Funding Corporation. Mortgage rates are near all-time lows, and Network Capital is now offering one of our lowest 15-year fixed rates ever. 2% with a 2.27% APR. With a rate this low, you'll never have to worry about refinancing again. Our unique process is fast, simple, and secure. And right now, the Network Capital 15-year fixed rate is 2% with a 2.27% APR. Now, today's low rates won't last, so talk to us about the No Regret Refinance today. Call the experts at Network Capital right now. Call 800-500-1-HIT. That's 800-500-1-HIT. As in home run. Call now and save big on your refi. 800-500-1-HIT. 800-500-1448. NMLS ID 11712. Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Licensed by the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation into the Finance Lender Law. 603-787. An equal opportunity lender. Loan amount 500,000 and greater. 1.45 discount points apply. Rates subject to change. Need credit approval. Call 800-500-1448 for additional cost information.
Have you been injured in an Uber or Lyft accident? Visit myuberlawyer.com.
Hey there, homeowners. Are you experiencing pipe leaks? Do you have warm spots in your slab floor, or is your water bill unexpectedly high? These are signs of widespread pipe failure due to old, corroded, and shoddy pipes. Rerouting a pipe or other Band-Aid fixes are not the answer. Only a whole house repipe with brand new high-quality PEX or copper will permanently solve the problem. Repipe specialists. No more leaks and great water pressure. They've been doing this for over 25 years. Repipe in just 1 to 2 days at half the cost of a plumber with a lifetime guarantee. Say goodbye to leaks once and for all and eliminate the risk of water damage damage to your home. Call us today for your free in-home estimate. We'll even take 20% off our already low price and receive 0% interest when you call today at 877-958-9287. 877-958-9287. That's 877-958-9287.
I'm attorney Darren Capanoki from 1-800-NO-CUFFS. Can you do the alphabet backwards? Z-Y-X-W-V. Yeah, try doing that by the side of the road. So if you get pulled over, don't wing it. Call us at 1-800-NO-CUFFS.
Pull up to churches today for boneless that's bringing it all. Bring buttermilk marinated juiciness and all white meat deliciousness. Try our new Texas tenders and chicken sandwich with new smoky honey sauce for just $3.99. Churches bringing it down on the plains. Offer valid at participating locations.
145 traffic every 10 minutes on the Pines, brought to you by Skywall to your Santra.
Let's start with problems over on the Santa Monica Freeway. Brian Douglas is keeping an eye on this big alert over on the 10.
This was a brush fire. It's our West 10 at Western. It's your Western off-ramp. CHP tells me they have shut down. They will be affecting your Western on-ramp to that West 10 as well. Fire's been out for a while. Fire department is just in the mop-up stages. Collector Road is open, but still slowing. Westbound starting right about Hoover. Slowing the Western. After that, you're okay until you reach about La Brea. Then you've got some slowing as you make your way over towards the west side. Looks like that might be some Caltrans work. In your eastbound side, heavy up to the 405. Then again, Los Piana Gate into downtown. Now let's have a look at your drive on the 5 between Burbank and Boyle Heights with Scott, the Southern California Toyota Dealers 5 Gen Cam.
Oh, with a issue you get to deal with here, southbound coming up on Stadium Way, there is metal debris in the left lanes, and it looks like CHP might be in the process of running a brake to clear that, because you do have quite a backup starting at the 134, but slowing will continue down toward the San Bernardino Freeway. More slowing into the East LA interchange down toward the 710 and beyond. North 5, you got slowing from the 110, but once you cross the 2, things will start to pick up for you up toward the 134.
Got a new crash northbound side of the Hollywood Freeway. The 101 at Glendale Boulevard. An accident here blocking the number 1 lane. Adding to that backup not down now. Brighten up your living space at home with Sky Walls. Their moving glass walls let in natural light, expanding your living areas and bringing the outdoors in with taller, wider views. Visit movingglasswalls.com. Change the way you see the world. That's movingglasswalls.com. Your next report's 155. More reports, more often at Tom Tran, the CarsonToyota.com 24-hour traffic center. KNX 1070 News Radio.
You're listening to KNX In Depth. I'm Rob Archer along with Charles Schultz.
The thinking among mental health professionals was that a year of high anxiety from the global pandemic combined with persistent, isolation would result in a catastrophic rise of suicide during 2020. The potential for a high suicide rate was even used as a criticism, you may recall, of lockdowns. So the expectation was that the rate of suicides would be skyrocketing.
That's not the reality, though. In fact, according to some new statistics compiled by the CDC, suicides actually went down in 2020 for the first time in several years, down almost 5%. But going behind the data, the picture gets a little more complicated. Dr. Larry Wright directs the Forefront Suicide Prevention Center at the University of Washington. What are the complications of this? It's not just that suicides didn't go up, they actually went down, but there's some other factors at play here. What else happened? What else is in the mix here?
Yeah, well, first, let me begin by saying thank you for having me. And I think, these figures are good news, and I hope that they will hold up, but they should probably be interpreted cautiously at this point. One of the reasons is we're still learning about what actually happened. So we want to see these figures disaggregated. It's likely that across geography, across time, across a lot of different elements, we can break it down and get a better pattern of it. But, going back to how this occurred, if you think about it, the predictions make sense, right? Is that there's certain risk factors associated with death by suicide that we just assumed would be amplified. So depression, loneliness, unemployment, sense of being a burden. Those were the things that we know are associated with suicide. And everything would suggest that the pandemic would have amplified those. In fact, with SARS almost 20 years ago, we did see that. But there's a couple of reasons why we may not be seeing that. And I think there are actually cause for hope. When we think about death by suicide, there's a lot of different elements associated with it, but in a lot of ways it can be thought of as a sense of connectedness or a sense of belonging. And that connectedness or belonging can act as a bulwark And so what we may have actually seen that sense of belonging increased, particularly in the early parts of the pandemic, but there may be some other elements in there as well. Like I say, looking at how the data is broken down, each state collection reports data slightly differently. I don't think that would probably make up for that 5% difference, but it could. The real element here is that while we look at death by suicide, there are other categories, substance abuse, whether it's alcohol, opioids, whatever the case may be, where people also die. We're typically not sure if that was a death by suicide or not. And so it's challenging to say exactly where we are. I would like to look at it as good news and hope for the best.
Well, I mean, you talked about being connected, and I guess at some level that does make sense because so many people were doing FaceTimes, videos with people that they may not have talked to for years, but all of a sudden everybody kind of felt like they were in the same boat. Do you think that was part of it too, perhaps, that people who otherwise might have felt isolated, lonely, besides being connected to other people that they may not have talked to for a long time because of the pandemic, in a way they were kind of part of a global phenomenon that gave them, in a weird sort of way, a sense of belonging?
I think that's right, and again, I mean, I think we'd have to wait to see if that pans out, but it is reasonable to assume that there was this deeper sense of we are all in this, and all of us saw the videos of in Italy people singing and clapping drums at a certain time of night. That means we are connected, and so I don't think we can discount that. And the other point you made is 30 years ago we would not have been connected in the same way, right? Technology has allowed us to connect in a meaningful way, and that could have something to do with it as well. I think about my own son who in Washington State, we've been out of school for quite some time. His friends are always online, and this just gave him more opportunity to be closer to his friends. Now, I don't mean to suggest that's the case with everybody, but I do think technology has changed how people communicate with one another, and that may have helped.
Yeah, so we were able to be lonely together. So you felt the loneliness, and maybe to the point that maybe the idea crossed your mind that you felt a little suicidal. But the fact is, when you connected with people online who were feeling the same thing, everybody's backing up what you feel. Doesn't that help cut down the rate of suicide? And if that's the case, don't we apply that to stopping suicides when there's no pandemic?
Well, that's right. I mean, I think that, one of the things is, as we are all connected, there is a difference between having thoughts of, I may take my own life versus taking one's own life. One of the things that I think is really important and hope-filled news is the idea that suicide is preventable. And the more there are those connections, the more opportunity there is for people to say, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Approach that and take steps to prevent people from taking that next step of taking their lives. So, I think that definitely has part of the equation.
All right, thanks so much. Dr. Larry Wright directs the Forefront Suicide Prevention Center at the University of Washington. And of course, still to come on Volcanoes and Death, we are going to dig into this really ground-shaking revelation that we've had that there is a shortage of a vital necessity.
It's devastating.
Yes, I don't know how Big Fries is going to respond to this. As you know, a major business in America, a ketchup shortage.
Yes, this could change life on this planet as we know it.
Exactly. So stay tuned for that. We are going to catch you up on traffic coming up in just about 1 minute on